It's easier than cloud. Okay, so this is Scott Langford. I'm the Communications and Outreach Director for Global Education Network. And I am joined today by one of my own former students who's transferred to Berkeley Hass recently and started an absolutely amazing, now nationwide program called College Leap. And I want to do a quick back and forth interview with Jay so that we can learn more about it. Also, to be perfectly honest, Jay and I hadn't touched base in a little while, so he's kind of catching me up. And we thought, well, why don't we share this with the Global Educators Network? So first up, Jay, why don't you just tell those who've never heard of College Leap the basics about what it is?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Scott, for having me here. So College Leap is a nonprofit registered in California. Our mission is to empower the international student at community colleges, because like for my own experience and some of my international students' experience at community colleges, so we realized community college as a special group, international students at community colleges as a very special group have faced a lot of like special challenges and obstacles. That's the reason behind this organization. We want to have a community for the international student at community college to help them, to provide the resources, to provide opportunities, and most importantly, provide the access to them so they can improve their skill as well as polishing their resume and become more competitive in their transfer process.
Yeah, and I love the idea of what you've done. And so you transferred to Cal yourself, and you immediately went to work. It's really only about less than a year ago. I got this right in my head. I can't believe how fast you all work. Yep. You immediately began networking with other international students who had transferred, not just from Foothill College, but from all over the country, right? It's yep. Cal, right? Putting together this network and goal to help yourselves, but also to help students who are still at community colleges who need to know more about what are the, how do I set myself up for transfer? How do I leverage the power of community colleges? And also, I think there's a lot of what I would call fancy word destigmatizing of community colleges. In other words, like look at the amazing success of transfer students at the University of California, at the CSUs, all over the United States, right?
Yep.
So it is a nationwide organization already. Why don't we talk a little bit about how that happened and also how nationwide it has become? This is really where you're filling me in a little bit also. I believe you even have some graphics and websites that you could start to share.
Yeah, I can share. Actually, I can go ahead and share the chapters we currently have. So here is oh, not this one. Let me share the other one. I think it's this one. Can you see it? Like
yes, I can. Wow, look at that.
The chapter logos.
This isn't the chapter logo. This is transfer student. Let's see. This is something else. Wrong one. Keep going. I love it when students have trouble screen sharing in Zoom because they're always giving me a hard time when I can't do it in class. I'm so glad that I'm capturing this on screen.
No, I thought I clicked that.
So what I'm getting right now is empower that. There. Wait. Let's see. Maybe I can screen share it because I got it on my screen.
Oh, that'd be nice.
All right. Let me see if I can screen share it for you. This is the one this is the one I had in mind. I'd love to know more about
the that's the one I was about to show.
All right.
So we start this thing at Cal, and we realized the best way for us to serve the international student at so many community colleges is actually to establish chapter at different community colleges. That's how this whole thing started. So we have the idea of establishing different we call them chapters. So at their own college, they're registered student organizations. So we start this and we recruit for we call them chapter leaders. So they are more like club leaders, but we see them as interns for our nonprofit organization. So we recruit the interns, we give them training. So we just established our whole training program, which is like consists of like 6 sessions. So they all have to go through these 6 sessions, and we provide them with all the document template and all the necessary materials they will probably be using when they work. And yeah, so that's how we start this thing. And right now, I think we have around 20 chapters And our goal is to establish 25 chapters by the end of the summer. So currently, majority of our chapters are from the Bay Areas, and with a couple from the Southern California and a couple from Washington, Seattle especially, and some from New York and Chicago areas. So we will looking forward to expand that like the number to around 50, I think by the end of the year or next academic year. At least that's our goal. Because like we did some calculation and research and find that there are around 50 community colleges in the United States with more than 200 international students. So that these are our target community colleges. Yeah.
Well, and you certainly gave yourself the right name, Leap, because like, look how much you've accomplished in less than a year. It's absolutely incredible. Like you're so close to 25 already. So I think you're about to hit your goal already. And it's a great mix too, right? Like so I mean, you've got colleges from all over California. You've got a wide variety of different types of community colleges. You've got 4 universities joining. And then partly the reason that we're recording this is that we hope that we can outreach to other community colleges around the United States. So even though the seed of this is from students at Foothill College and then from Berkeley and then so forth, so it starts with this kind of seed. And then Jay, you're from China yourself, so of course a lot of your contacts are also Chinese international students. But you've done a great job of outreaching to international students from a wide range so far, right? Like, in fact, you could update me a little bit on that. Like, what's the makeup of your team?
That's a great question. Let me share my screen here. We just made a diversity committee here at College Leap. So we have two. Yeah, we have a diversity committee. We have 2 diversity committees. One is for like people from different nations. Let me show that. So, and then the other is for the universities. So we have like a transfer student who represent their own 4-year universities here at College Leap. And we are making it on our website right now. And let me see, it's this one. Yeah. So it's not published yet. So like there's still, can you see it?
Yes, this time I can see it. I'm there.
Yeah, the website, the diversity committees. So right now we have around like 14 college countries. Like we have.
See, I love this. This is part of the update. I just have to jump in because the last time we talked, this was something that you had begun to do, and I was really encouraging you that this is crucial, right? Like you have to move beyond the Chinese student base, even though, you know, I love that that's where it starts. But like, I'm just got to say, wow, look at the diversity of nations already represented. That is a really beautiful accomplishment, and just in the middle of COVID and quarantine and almost getting deported from the country and all that other stuff that's recently happened. Like this is a beautiful thing to see at this moment in time.
Yeah, that's the reason why we have this, is like we don't want to limit, although as you said, like we start as a Chinese international student, we don't want to limit ourselves to that specific ethnicity group. So we want this to be a community for all international students. So we don't restrain ourselves. So right now we have like 14 countries represented here at College Leap. And some like the pictures are placeholders, but like it's not like completely done yet.
Sure, that's okay though.
And this is for the university representatives. So we're also gathering a board of like people like you boys here, right? To represent Stanford. We'll have people to represent Columbia, Boston, University, UCLA, and all that. So we're just looking for ways to enrich these 2 committees so that we can have more countries and more university represented at College Leap. Yeah.
Wow. Well, now let me shift gears a little bit. Like, so if I'm a community college instructor and I'm trying to, and I want to get some students interested at my campus in starting a chapter of College Leap, what are they going to get out of it? Like, why should they be interested in this thing? You know, as a student, you get bombarded with invitations and like, please do this and please do that all the time.
Yeah.
So what's the pitch to students?
The pitch to students, I think the majority benefit we can offer to our members are 2 categories. So the first is we call them College Leap projects. So these are the projects that open to all the members at all community colleges, right? So like the business plan competition we are about to host in the coming fall, I actually have a web page for that. it's not like completely done yet, but I can show you the idea here.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about showing it on Zoom, because no, it's not there yet. It's okay. We can still share your design.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
So,
have to emphasize, like, the speed at which you've been setting up this nationwide organization absolutely astounds me. You should be a business student. No, that's a joke, because you are. But man, your business skills have been incredibly powerful here.
yeah.
Haas took the right guy. All right, go.
Yeah, so this is like the business plan competition we're gonna host in the coming fall. And we already have 15 community colleges on board. So we will have 3 rounds. First round is gonna be between September and October. And the last round is November 7th. So this is like the overall like idea. And we already have this like, I'm just waiting for the logos to fill in this blank. And on top of that, we'll provide the educational resources. So we invite the professors at different community college business faculty to give a lecture on one topic they feel like most important for students to have. And this like, we're just filling the partners. I think we have around 30 partners right now. I'm just waiting for their logos to send out.
Woo!
Yeah, so that's something we can offer to students. And this is like only the first one in our whole series. We're planning to have a national competition for the business, for the STEM major in next spring, something like a hackathon or like a competition. And we'll probably have something similar to the honor symposium, similar type, but in different format for the social science students as well. So just trying to cover as many majors as possible. So like community college students from different major can get a chance to get benefit from College League. So
yeah, in fact, let me mention 2 things that I'm really proud of that that I did not set up at Foothill College, but I'm so proud of my colleagues for making a huge success. And one is we have a business plan competition that's very specific to sustainability, sustainable entrepreneurship, and that is something that I'm really proud of. So I hope that you have at least a subcategory. I'll put a pitch in right now on Zoom recording on the Gen channel. And then we also have a service learning symposium that's for all students as well, where they present their service learning projects, which I think is another beautiful thing to do. I mean, you are the living example of service learning, so I'm not saying you're not doing it. I just want to make sure that those elements are also in there, because sometimes, as you know, the Shark Tank kind of stereotype is that business plan competition is for little wannabe entrepreneurs who want to be super billionaires and not help anybody else.
Yeah.
And you're sort of living example of the fact that that doesn't have to be that way. Everything that you're doing is about service learning. Everything that you're doing is about sustainability and internationalizing the curriculum, which is what Gen is about. So that would be my quick feedback on that. But I think this is a fantastic idea, and I really love it. Let me ask you also, you did some initial trainings, or you did some initial pitches, and the Foothill chapter has done some events. So can you mention some of the events that the local chapters are doing, as well as these national events?
Yeah, that's actually the second category of benefit we can offer to students. So we call them chapter projects, right? The chapter projects are the project we kind of help our chapter leaders at different community colleges to build, to specifically tailor to their own community. So one of the example will be the International Alum Network. So what we help them to, we kind of walk them through the whole process of how to reach out to international students who used to study at the community college and transfer out or become a professional in the industry, and bring them back to share their own transfer experience and also to answer questions. So that'll be a good example of that. And on top of that, we have a program called Volunteer Certificate. So the purpose, like the idea behind that chapter project, is to combine the hours you put into like this short-term or one-time volunteers together into a long-term persistent community service award. So we'll give the award as College League to people who accomplish certain hours of community service to make it more valuable and to keep them persistent in giving back to their community. And we provide a couple of chapter projects that our chapter can choose from. But on top on top of that, we give them the full autonomy to build their own chapter projects. So some of them would say something like, hey, I think the language barriers is a major obstacles faced by international students at my college. And then they will have something like the language corner, English corner to help the international students specifically. So I think I would say like we give a lot of freedom to our chapter leaders in terms of finding ways to help their international students. Yeah.
No, it's a great balance of guidance and freedom. And I just have to underline, it's so important to try to have some sort of alumni network. Like one of the, I mean, you know, I'm a lifelong complete evangelist for community colleges. So, but one of the weaknesses we've always had is we don't have strong alumni networks for the most part. And it's one reason I'm so thrilled by College Leap and some of the other programs that are out there that we'll be highlighting on the Gen channel, because I think if you look at what community college transfers are accomplishing, have accomplished, will accomplish, both at the university level, at the community college level, and at the career level, it's astounding. I mean, I have a kind of standard joke that's not a joke, that my Foothill College network is more powerful than my Stanford network. I mean, I have, you know, nothing away from that other university called Stanford, Jay, but take nothing away from us. But it's a powerful network. But honestly, my Foothill network is amazing, and you're living proof of this, right? Like the things that my former students and associates of my former students have accomplished are absolutely astounding. We'll be highlighting many of them here on Gen. But I think letting transfer students know that, letting international students know that is absolutely essential in finding a platform where we can find each other and we can work together and we can use the power is another thing.
That's true. That's true. And actually, it kind of surprised me when our chapter leader reached out for alum. So like, I used to think that the community college alum who transferred to 4 years will be a little bit hesitate to say, hey, I'm a community college student, right? So because it doesn't sound that good. But when they reach out, it turns out like a majority of them are really willing to help. Like some of them, like we send them the questions and they, on top of like answering all the question in detail, they also provide a lot of tips, right? Like what did I do? And it turns out like they would love to kind of give back to their peers at community colleges and help them with their transfer process. So I would say like, but the thing is like there are very few colleges actually put a lot of emphasis on the alum network. So like that's something like we're trying to achieve here at College Leap. And also like one thing particularly important, particularly interesting about this international student alum is this is like a proven record of, it's a proven success of community colleges to international students, right? So these people's successful transfer experience are the best, the kind of testimony for the community college system. And that they will be very powerful when they will be used to convince the prospective community college student to actually choose community college as a way to start their education, higher education path in the US.
Yeah, so exactly. I mean, there's a kind of level where you're working with students who have already transferred, who are community college transfers, who are doing having amazing success at the UCs, at the CSUs, at private universities nationwide. You've got this global network of students like that. You're outreaching to students who are then at community colleges now trying to start these chapters, right? And giving them things like the business plan competition and other things. And then, as you say, there's this kind of third level of making sure that community colleges can recruit successfully international students, that students who are not yet part of any kind of US educational system but want to study here have some idea of the amazing success and opportunities that are available through our community college system. And that's yet another, so I think there's a sort of third level of outreaching to prospective students that's part of College Leap as well. Am I right about that?
Yes, actually you're really right on that. So one of our plan is to, so we can consider all the things we're doing, like generating content, right? So like all the content, like the activities, the community college international students are involved in and all the great stuff they've been working on, and then use that content as a way to advocate for community college system internationally. So that's like one of the purpose, like ultimate goal of this whole organization is to support and advocate for community college internationally.
Yeah, I'm even wondering, like, if there's another, I think there's another website that we should be sharing at some point. Like, what kind of public website do you have right now? Maybe I should be asking that.
Public website?
Do you have a public website up there right now? I'm not sure. I think you do. I've seen it. I Google it from time to time when I'm trying to describe the amazing stuff that you're able to.
It's actually on the same website, so it's different pages. So
okay.
This is all.
Yeah, let's do a little more tour of what you have already, because I think it's important for people. Yeah, I love this website, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think we can diversify some of your visuals a little bit now that you have, like, you know, dozens of different countries. But why don't you walk us through this a little bit too? Just kind of scroll through and talk a little bit as you go, right?
Yeah, sure. So this is our like mission, or the founding missions we have, to empower international students, connect alum back to our home college, and advocate for U.S. community college internationally. So these are like three of our missions. And at college, we fully recognize the value, and that's why we want to embrace it, improve it, and our own mark on it. So this is like a map of our current, some of our current chapters. We haven't updated yet.
Right, I see, yeah, because I know you have even more now. So it's not, I mean, again, it started in the Bay Area. It started with Chinese students. It started with Jay at Cal. But like, you already got like a huge nationwide platform at this point. Keep going, because I love it.
So these are like resources, like this is for the database. We have a database to record all the opportunities provided by other organizations that we find valuable for community colleges students to know. So we put them all together into a database. So our members can always, let me show you the example of a database. So College Leap database. So we worked on that. So like we actually sometimes, dig into the LinkedIn profile of some transfer students and see like what they were involved in at community colleges, and put that there, like kind of like we think the thing they were involved in is kind of verified by their own experience and success. So like we put them up over here. Yeah, so students.
I hadn't seen this page, Jay, and I love this page because again, it shows the amazing diversity of stuff that people are working on at all these different schools. Like, wow, it's fantastic to see this.
Yeah, so we have a group at College Leap that working on a program called internship program, which we extensively reach out to startup at Cal and startups around the nation to see if they can take some interns from the community college students, especially international students, if they're open to that. And then we will bring them on as our portfolio companies, and then we will announce all these positions to the international students, to the community college students. Yeah, so that's something we've been working on from the very beginning. Yeah.
Right. Now, how about the level of working with both community college administrators and faculty like myself, but also university administrators? Like, what about that level? So there's like the student level at community college, there's the student level at university level, student transfers. We're already at universities as transfer students.
Uh-huh.
There's the level of outreaching to students who may want to join the community colleges. I think we've kind of covered that.
Yep.
And then let's say a little bit about, how you've done outreach to administrators and faculty like myself. And again, I have to emphasize, you're just getting started. I mean, I wish Jen was as off the ground as you are, because Jen is also a brand new project, right? So, but I think, so emphasizing that you're just getting started, but how are you outreaching to administrators and faculty at universities and community colleges so far?
I like right now, it's to be honest, it's a little bit hard because like everybody is like
I know that. That's one reason I'm asking, right? I'm not saying you could accomplish this. So like, this is, in some ways, it's the hardest part. Like, you've done so much, but it's one reason that we're talking today, right? Like, what I want to do is help you outreach to people like me who are community college instructors nationwide. That's what Gen is for, right? Like, this Gen platform is for community college educators across the United States. who are deeply, passionately interested in internationalizing their curriculums and their programs. So this is why there's such an amazing kind of synergy between what Jen is doing at Stanford through Stanford Global Studies and what you're doing for international students. So I don't necessarily want to put you on the spot to have to name names, but I do think that the goal is that what we need also is to have administrators and have faculty members aware. You have gone to nationwide conferences with this too, right? Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
Maybe we could start with that, because that was another where I went, oh my gosh, Jay, you got that done already? Like you're already going to nationwide conferences?
Yeah. So I actually went to the Community College International Development. It's another nonprofit organization or association for community colleges. So I went to their annual conference this year in Florida and gave a presentation on what we've been doing at College Leap. We got a lot of interest from different administrators and faculty at community colleges. And some of them we still have contact with and help us a lot in establishing chapters in their own community colleges. So that's great experience, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that you'll be doing more of that. And again, this is where I'd like Jen to help you, because I think that we can help get the word out. You're getting to the point where obviously you're still adding the wings to the airplane as you're flying it, as they say in Silicon Valley, since we're both Silicon Valley types. But at the same time, I think you're really at the launch point where I want to see community college administrators and I want to see community college faculty. I want to help get the word out, because I think that this thing's already growing like a wild mushroom in the night, and and it's so timely right now. I guess I have to say, like when you went to the national conference, that's in what I call the before times, before COVID. So you were actually physically there in Florida,
yes.
And getting tons of attention. And also that was one of the places where you were really started to reach out beyond the Chinese student network. So I thought going to the national conference allowed you a platform where you could connect with international students from around the world. In fact, what I recall is that one of the things that you learned there was that students from around the world were facing the same issues. It's not just Chinese students, right?
Yes.
In the terms of like the needs were quite similar, whether you were coming from Latin America, whether you're coming from Africa, whether you're coming from Europe, whether you're coming from Asia, whether you're coming from Australia, wherever else around the world you might be coming from, that many of the issues that transfer students face and many of the opportunities that you can offer are common across languages, across cultures, across different nationalities. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons that something like College Leap can be so powerful.
Yeah, that's true. Like from that conference, we definitely get a bigger picture of the international students, like as the whole at community college right now. We got like a better understanding of their needs, and especially for the recruitment, I would say like every countries are facing the same exact obstacles when they trying to promote or advocate for community college in their own country. Yeah, so that actually makes the whole project more meaningful and valuable to the whole system in terms of recruiting more students. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just doing my teacher thing, we wrap this. So you've got the community college level with current community college transfers, prospective community college transfers who are not even in the United States yet, with a layer of transfer students at the universities, like yourself, right? And then this other layer of outreach to those of us who work with international students, who outreach to international students at both the administrative and the faculty level, like myself, and the staff level, of course, too. I mean, every community colleges frequently have incredibly dedicated staff members who are going to be passionate about this. So I think in my head, we've covered all the levels that you've already built into this thing. Now it's really just a matter of building it out so that it really is broad-based, that it's multinational, that it's multicultural, and that we give you on our side, on the community college side, all the support we possibly can. Because really, this has just been a passion project for you so far. I'm still not quite sure when you do your classes at Cal, but assuming that you ever sleep. But it's a beautiful example of what you've achieved already. Is a beautiful example of what you want to show other students. Like, look what community college students are doing at university level. And I'm so proud of what you've accomplished. Like every time we talk, it's one reason I wanted to just record it. Like every time we talk, I'm just in wow mode.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it really warms my heart. Like I've worked on these issues for 30 years. I'm trying to help Stanford build out a network of educators who are interested in internationalizing the curriculum. But the fact that you're doing this at the same time and so far almost in danger of leaving me completely in the dust and leaving Jen, like you're inspiring Jen in terms of what we can do as well. So thank you so much for all that you've accomplished
Thanks for
already.
saying that. But I think what you mentioned, like there is actually another level I want to briefly touch on. So the other level is actually the faculty and the administrator at four-year universities. So that's like
Yes.
we've always been trying to outreach to, and so like for that, like we realize like if we reach out them as a college league, that as an organization that only help the community college students, they would say something like, oh, it's a really nice thing to do. It's not like actually something we care, not care. No, they are not gonna be that explicit about it. But
Right.
let's just put it that way. So office at four-year university are to help maybe the transfer student at 4 years, right? So the helping the like community college students at community colleges are not their responsibilities.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So what we are trying to conquer that problem is we are having a honor society. So we call them, I think it's gamma mu something. It's like Greek letter. So we're having an honor society. So at different four-year community colleges to trying to build a transfer students network at the four-year university level. So that way we can talk to the office and administrators at four-year university as well. And now then they will have enough reason to help us out because we are helping your students, right? So that's like our plan. And we're for the honor society, we're having our batch 0. So it's like a beta like this year, and with some of our like chapter leaders at community colleges. And then we expect them when they graduate next year and transfer to the 4 years, they will be the batch 1. They will be like a founding president of our honor society at four-year universities. So that's like a plan for us to get more involved and connected in this four-year universities as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'll add that a project for this Gen channel and for the Global Educators Network in general is to highlight the incredible accomplishments of students who have come either from international, as an international student or as local students who have transferred to university level and then who have gone on to graduate level, to enormous graduate level accomplishments too. So I do think that one of the things I'm going to be working on here at Gen is highlighting the accomplishments of students like Maria Azanova, who's already got an interview on my Gen channel here. But if I can advertise a little bit for her, so she was a Siberian, Russian, Mongolian student who came to Foothill College, went on to Harvard, went on to Cambridge, where she's earned her master's degree. And now she's one of the major international conservation and indigenous knowledge leaders in Siberia, in southern Siberia, for her Buryat people. And so there's like that level also of beyond the university, what do international students accomplish, and the literally global and international leadership that they're accomplishing. Maria is about to receive a major award as one of the best conservationists on the planet.
Nice.
And I'm going to have a Gen channel show about that pretty soon too.
Oh, that's
the
nice.
award's coming from Stanford. That's useful as well. So that's like a teaser for future.
Yeah, 2 years.
So I'm thinking that, so that I think we can kind of wrap it up at this point, at least in terms of the recording and the Gen channel. But thank you so much for, it took us a while to sort out all the levels, and that's a compliment to you. When if you were doing any one of these levels, I would be astounded and amazed and puffed up with pride. The fact that you've been able to create something that is blending these levels and creating a genuine network across these different levels absolutely astounds me. I think it's such a powerful thing. And it's one of the reasons that I really want to do everything I can to get the word out about LEAP, because I think that this is a desperate need. It is very empowering as a community college instructor to see you doing this, It shows the power of internationalizing the curriculum, and it really highlights the service that international students bring to the college, and to the universities and to the whole student community. So thank you so much for kind of walking us through your layer cake of accomplishments. And then of course we're watching this thing grow as we speak. So maybe I'll check in with you in a future Gen Channel interview and see where you are in a couple more months. All right.
Excited for that.
All right. Thank you very much. And I think I'm going to ask you. You can go ahead and unrecord us.
Got it. Let's start recording when ready.